Get beat by the venom.
Venom is a highly popular character in the Spider-Man universe, possessing incredible power. However, I am certain that the truths about Venom and some of its variants in this video will astound you, as they might go far beyond your current knowledge. At the same time, they can explain several questions that the MCU has never answered, such as who was Venom's very first host? Why are Venom's hosts usually so aggressive? And why does Venom love Eddie Brock more than Peter Parker? In this video, we will clarify the fact that Eddie Brock was not Venom's first host on Earth, and that Venom's violent nature was actually influenced by its previous hosts. Originally, Venom was a very peaceful symbiote that prioritized long-term harmonious symbiosis and protecting its host rather than bonding with them to death. Because of this, it was cast out by its own kind. It then encountered Tel-Kar, a Kree super soldier genetically modified for enhanced strength. Thanks to Venom's shape-shifting abilities, Tel-Kar easily disguised himself to infiltrate, assassinate, and sabotage the Skrull army. Years later, he discovered that the Skrulls were manufacturing an incurable, genocidal biological weapon to end the war. Before he could act, the army he had infiltrated attacked Kree refugees, and Tel-Kar risked everything to help them escape. To secure the information, Tel-Kar erased a portion of Venom's memory, separated it, and sent it back to the planet Hala while he himself was captured by the Skrulls. After escaping the Kree, Venom became stranded on an icy planet where it bonded with a local inhabitant. This individual abused Venom's power to slaughter his own kind to the point of genocide, causing Venom to become addicted to rage and cruelty. Later, Venom and several other symbiotes fell into the hands of the extraterrestrial arms dealer Hayes Mazer, who used extremely potent chemicals to maximize their aggression and bloodlust, turning them into bioweapons to sell to mercenaries. This process directly transformed Venom from a benign creature into a savage monster. Venom subsequently escaped, but due to severe memory damage, it forgot all about this event. Later, the young X-Men defeated Hayes Mazer and handed him to the Nova Corps. Fearing that this violent nature would spread to future generations, the other symbiotes imprisoned Venom. When the entity known as the Beyonder created the planet Battleworld from the fragments of 100 worlds during the Secret Wars event, Deadpool was among those transported there. Hearing Thor and Hulk talk about a machine that could use imagination to create any clothing desired, Deadpool tried it out and created a black and white suit capable of fluid shapeshifting. However, Wade quickly realized that this suit was a sentient living organism capable of mind control, so he immediately took it off and let it go. Thus, Deadpool was actually the very first human on Earth to bond with Venom, even before Peter Parker. Just like Deadpool, Spider-Man was summoned to fight on Battleworld. After his battle with Titania, his suit was ruined. Following Deadpool's earlier suggestion, Peter approached the machine and retrieved a black sphere. The sphere immediately enveloped his body, forming the legendary black suit. The suit enhanced his strength, allowed him to change shape at will, and let him shoot webs without web shooters, but it also made him unusually ecstatic. Since Peter was always joking around, no one paid much attention to this, and because Deadpool kept quiet about the suit's true nature, Peter brought it back to Earth to fight crime. After using it for a while, Peter began to notice some abnormal signs, such as becoming unusually irritable, prone to violence, or the suit putting itself on even when he didn't need it. However, those weren't the most alarming things. Everything gradually took a turn for the worse when Peter realized he was becoming a source of terror to those around him. His health deteriorated, and he was plagued by bizarre recurring nightmares. Consequently, he took the suit to Reed Richards of the Fantastic Four to analyze. Reed determined that this was a highly evolved, sentient living organism rather than just an exotic material. Terrified, Peter tried to tear it off but failed, forcing Reed to use a high-frequency sonic gun and Johnny Storm to use fire to force the symbiote to separate from Peter and lock it in a glass containment cell. While imprisoned, Venom contemplated taking over the body of Franklin Richards, Reed's son, but hesitated due to the boy's immense potential power. However, Venom refused to sit idly by.
Not long after, Christoph Vernod, Dr. Doom's adopted son, used drones to attack the lab, shattering the containment tank and releasing venom. It attacked the Richards family and possessed She-Hulk and Susan Storm in turn to get close to Franklin and successfully bonded with the boy. However, thanks to his father's encouragement, Franklin unleashed his true psychic power, blasting venom out of his body and capturing it again. Nevertheless, after escaping yet again, Venom possessed a tourist named Leonard Elkhart to sneak into Peter Parker's home. It disguised itself as Peter's traditional red and blue suit to trick him into wearing it, thereby controlling him to fight without his knowledge. While Peter was fighting the Vulture, their battle dragged them into a church bell tower. The continuous resounding tolling of the church bells caused Venom immense pain, forcing it to retreat on its own, leaving Peter unconscious. Even though it desperately wanted to bond with him again, Peter's absolute hatred for it left Venom deeply wounded. It decided to leave, harboring an infinite grudge against Peter Parker. In that very church, Venom encountered Eddie Brock, who also held a burning hatred against Spider-Man. This shared hatred allowed the two to officially merge, becoming the Venom we all know in the comic book The Amazing Spider-Man number 300. In the next part of this video, I will list some very special Venom variants. How many of these Venoms do you know? Let me know in the comments.
Harris Brothers Venom of Earth 101. Appearing in the Age of Venomverse Unlimited Infinity comic, the Harris Brothers Venom of Earth 101 is bonded to conjoined twins Edmund and Alan Harris. Upon reaching adulthood, Edmund was diagnosed with a strange tumor, and the doctors had to perform separation surgery to save Alan's life. As the surgery began, Agent Venom, Neru of Earth 1051, arrived to stop them. At that exact moment, black tentacles burst from Edmund's body, transforming the brothers into a monster. In truth, the tumor was a symbiote attached to Edmund's body. Agent Venom helped them regain their senses and recruited them into her squad to fight Carnage on Earth 101. Magic Venom of Earth 616. During the War of the Realms event, Malekith's Dark Elf army invaded Midgard, committing countless atrocities while also looking to recruit promising individuals. Seeing Eddie Brock fighting with pure hand-to-hand fury, a witch tempted him to join by offering him the magic Dreamstone to protect his son Dylan, and he accepted. The stone read Eddie's memories of Venom and transformed into an artificial Venom armor covered in ancient runes and crystal spikes. Initially, Eddie was in complete control of Venom, immediately severing the witch's hand and causing her to panic. With this power, Eddie devastated Malekith's army. The armor possessed no consciousness of its own, but it was amplified by negative emotions, making Eddie increasingly wild and powerful. Conversely, positive emotions like love would weaken it. When facing Jack-o'-lantern, the armor evolved on its own into Asgardian armor to adapt to fire attacks. Realizing the armor was constantly evolving and to avoid being corrupted, Eddie shared its power with local citizens to form the Magic Venom army. After defeating Jack-o'-lantern with magic axe and lightning, Eddie voluntarily gave up the Dreamstone, dissolving the entire armor, after which the Magic Venom army also vanished. Venom Bloom of Earth 17239. Appearing in Extreme Venomverse number 4, Venom Bloom is the Venom of Earth 17239. It started as a single drop of symbiote liquid from outer space that landed on a flower on Earth, transforming it into a giant blossom. A curious sprite who approached it was quickly ensnared by black tentacles and eaten alive. Over time, this creature spread throughout the entire forest, slaughtering the sprite population and draining all nutrients. Venom Bloom grew so massive that it reached the clouds, generating bizarre black rainstorms composed of its own split matter to parasitize and turn everyone who witnessed it into monsters. The End Venom, Earth 23203. Featured in Venom the End, this version is a member of an ancient symbiote race from Earth 23203. It is a metaphysical living tesseract that requires biological hosts to root itself into the fabric of space-time. It stores the genetic codex of every host it has ever bonded with, including humans, Kree, mutants, and other species, but it seemed to only hold true affection for Eddie Brock during the golden age of heroes. As Eddie's body deteriorated and humanity faced extinction, Venom attempted to prolong Eddie's life by constantly creating simulated replacement organs, though this could not last forever. Ultimately, after 500 years, Eddie became a decrepit shell with fragmented memories due to Venom replacing his decaying brain cells, and Venom had to let Eddie pass away, turning to dust in a universe ruled by artificial superintelligences, ASIs, most notably the God Mind. The ASIs sought to wipe out all biological life to upload the universe into a digital database, including the symbiotes. Venom cloned itself by utilizing the energy of the mutant Jamie Madrox, Multiple Man, to create thousands of living planets called Midgardian Edens. It harnessed Storm's weather-manipulating powers and Elixir's biokinesis, combined with the genes of water bears, Wolverine, and Deadpool, to engineer incredibly durable artificial hosts from its stored Codex database. Venom built a living antimatter cannon to obliterate the Machine Faction's planets. However, the ASIs grew increasingly powerful due to their exponentially advancing processing speeds. Finding itself outmatched, Venom utilized an elixir-enhanced Quicksilver's superspeed to warp spacetime and close the gap with the machines, accidentally killing billions of its own nurtured hosts by drastically shortening their lifespans. When the God Mind assimilated most of the universe and defeated the Celestials, Galactus, and Eternity, Venom abandoned its final host, tore apart its own Tesseract structure, and sacrificed itself to create a pocket universe called the Venomverse, a sanctuary where the Codex and remaining consciousnesses could survive and regenerate. Deeply respecting this grand sacrifice, the God Mind named this pocket universe the Venomverse, regarding it as one of the rarest phenomena in the multiverse. Viking Venom, Earth 46902. Appearing in Venomverse Reborn, this variant originates from Earth 46902 in Norway under the reign of King Harald Fairhair. In the 9th century AD, in Gotaland, a young boy named Anders entered a deadly cave littered with the skeletons of a legendary man-eating beast, seeking the power to avenge his clan, which had been conquered by the Norwegian king. When seeing the monster, he was terrified, but knew it was his only hope to destroy the invaders. Sensing his immense hatred and resolve, the symbiote chose him as his host and granted him the power to end the war. The next day, Anders stood alone with 2 battle axes to block King Harald's fleet. They mocked him, offering a gold ring to whoever could bring him down. Despite being shot with 2 arrows through his head and chest, Anders was completely unharmed. He transformed into a giant venom and slaughtered the entire fleet, turning the sea red with blood. However, the emergence of Viking Venom completely derailed the history of this universe. The Pope became the first person to step on the moon. America became a monarchy, and modern Europe unified into the United States of Europe. Spooky Man. Appearing in Edge of Spider-Verse, this is an incredibly terrifying version of Venom that surpasses many symbiotes we know. The host is a male student named Gloomy Miller, who was bullied at Spider High. He was pushed down the stairs by bullies, breaking his neck because he had feelings for Sailor, the girlfriend of a bully named Fish. At the brink of death, he met Spooky Man, a demonic version of Venom with terrifyingly dark powers. The entity recited a bizarre poem and saved his life, after which Gloomy woke up at home completely healed, though with pale skin and altered hair. Things grew stranger when he noticed Spooky Man stalking him, causing him to flee while Sailor chased after him to apologize for Fish's actions. Suddenly, the weather warped due to the Sinister Six invoking an ancient spell, causing lightning to strike a nearby tree. As the tree collapsed towards Sailor, Gloomy threw himself in the way to save her and was crushed to death.
Spooky Man immediately resurrected Gloomy and took complete control of him. Fully merged, Spooky Man returned to the school and decimated the Sinister Six. While dominating the fight, Dr. Octopus, Cran Campus, captured Sailor and used her along with other students as sacrifices to summon a great beast to counter Gloomy. Left with no choice, Spooky Man devoured Sailor to disrupt the ritual. The school exploded, and everyone's memories were wiped except for Gloomy and Sailor. Afterward, Sailor kissed him, but ultimately returned to fish. Necroko, Earth 41459. Appearing in Extreme Venomverse number 4, this Venom exists as a magical black hair bow bonded to a high school girl named Ellie Allison. With this bow, Ellie transforms into Necroko, a dark magical girl. In reality, she has no actual magical powers. Instead, the bow functions as a razor-sharp weapon that can slice enemies from afar at extreme speeds. Occasionally, she must feed the bow the flesh of her enemies to satisfy its bloodlust. V-Star, Earth 34650. Delivered to Earth 71490 by Eventuality, an incarnation of Eddie Brock, this symbiote was discovered by the scientists of the V-Star Project. During the experiments, however, a scientist named Albert Moon Sr. bonded with it and was physically consumed to death, and the symbiote also murdered his wife. It then went on to bond with sibling pair Cindy Woon and Albert Moon Jr., leading to their capture by scientists for research. To protect her brother, Cindy absorbed the majority of the symbiote and miraculously survived. Over the next decade, her mind and body fully merged with it, granting her superhuman strength, speed, reflexes, and the ability to shapeshift her suit into various melee weapons. During an experiment, Cindy was accidentally pulled into a reality portal and vanished. Following this incident, scientist Michael Morbius lied to his colleagues so they would release Albert Jr., who actually retained a portion of the symbiote's power and became the hero, Silk. As for Cindy, she did not die, but grew even more powerful. Upon her return, she hunted down the V-Star scientists and clashed with S.H.I.E.L.D., only stopping when she heard her brother's voice before flying away.
India Demon, Earth 50101. Unlike typical extraterrestrial symbiotes, the demon of the Indian Spider-Man's, Pavitra Prabhakar's world is actually an ancient demon that was banished thousands of years ago using magical amulets. It had conquered thousands of kingdoms before being sealed away by a warrior prince. In this universe, the Green Goblin is not Norman Osborn, but a criminal lord named Nalin Oberoi. He used an ancient amulet to summon the demon to possess Pavitra, but failed when Pavitra's pure will and fond memories of his Uncle Beam expelled the darkness. Later, a cult recovered the amulet and successfully summoned the demon. It manifested as a massive six-armed beast resembling an asura, with tusks curving outward like elephant ivory and a belt adorned with human skulls. It created lesser clones to possess the populace, aiming to turn all of India into its army. To stop it, Pavitra and Lady Spider, Earth 803, infiltrated its lair at the Ananta Cave and shattered the amulet, causing the demon and its clones to dissolve into liquid mud.
Venom Mech Suit, Earth 14512. This is the universe of Penny Parker, where her suit is co-piloted by Penny in a radioactive spider. The Venom Mech Suit is a next-generation model, integrating a sim engine piloted by Eddie Brock, Penny's classmate, during a battle against the energy-draining kaiju Morbius in New York. The suit stopped responding to commands, revealed its own consciousness, and forcibly assimilated Eddie's body with biological cables. Within moments, it mutated into a mechanical monstrosity with a fanged maw and a highly flexible green tongue. Its overwhelming power and firepower completely outmatched Penny, forcing her to trick it into getting pinned to a wall. When she opened the pilot hatch, Addie had been entirely consumed, leaving behind nothing but a mass of glowing green biological tentacles. This is the video covering the truth and some of the most extraordinary variants of Venom. Are you a fan of this symbiote? If you enjoyed this video, please leave a like and subscribe so you don't miss any of our upcoming videos.
After so many times saying it, thank you seems soft.